The cold steel dug into Jack Harlan's wrists like a bad memory he couldn't shake. His eyes snapped open to the dim glow of a kerosene lamp flickering across strange shadows in his own cabin. The bitter tang of chloroform lingered on his tongue, and everything felt off, like his world had been tilted just enough to make him question reality. Two women sat at his rough-hewn table, helping themselves to his stew as if they owned the place. The younger one had sun-kissed skin and auburn hair, cascading like a waterfall, her movements graceful but wary. Her older sister eyed him with a stare that could curdle milk, hard and unyielding. "You're up," the older one said, her voice laced with steel. Sophia, that's what he'd learned her name, was before the night shattered everything. The chains rattled as he tugged at them. Solid links, the kind he'd bought to guard his silver from thieves just like him. "We know about the silver, Jack Harlan," Sophia continued, her tone heavy with accusation and a hint of raw fury. What unfolded next would challenge every lesson the frontier had drilled into him about loyalty, lust, and the razor edge between redemption and ruin. 3 years of isolation had worn Jack down. 3 years since Emily passed in his arms, her illness stealing the light from his Montana homestead in 1890. He'd taken to muttering at his cattle and drowning his nights in bourbon. But in the wilds of Big Sky country, letting your guard down invited death. "Your pa was my partner," he rasped, probing for weakness. The chains let him sit up, no more. "Carlos Ramirez. Solid guy." Sophia's voice snapped like a rifle crack. She rose, her frame tall and wiry, curves hinting at Mexican heritage and endless trails ridden hard. Her revolver hung low on her hip, polished from use. "Don't say his name like you cared." Mia shifted behind her, softer in edges where Sophia was all angles. Her skirt bore the scars of dusty campsites, clinging in ways that dried Jack's throat. She was maybe 20, with eyes that held too much sorrow for her years. "He mentioned you," Mia murmured. "Said you pulled him out of jam once, back in Idaho." "Twice," Jack corrected. "But who's keeping score?" The slap stung like fire, Sophia's hand connecting with his jaw. But it hovered a second too long, her fingers trembling. "He tasted copper. You sold him out," she hissed. "Stole our father's silver and left him to rot." Jack spat blood. "Your pa was dipping into the Silverton Mining Company's hull $40,000 in pure or headed for the U.S. Mint. I didn't rat him out. I tried to pull him back from the brink." "Liar. Check the desk, second drawer down." Mia glided over, her steps smooth as river stones. She pulled out the unsealed letter, reading in a voice that quivered. "Sheriff Harlano relation Carlos Ramirez ain't the villain here. He's a pawn for the Blackwood crew, hauling their stolen silver. Nab him, and you're doing their dirty work. He's decent, tangled in bad deals. Let him flip on the real crooks." The paper fluttered down. "You never mailed it," Sophia said, her edge dulling. "No," Jack admitted, locking eyes. 2 days before I could, your pa pitched me one last score. Said it'd bankroll a fresh start for his girls, away from badges and bullets." The cabin fell silent, save for the wind howling through the pines and the fire's crackle. Sophia slumped, looking worn beyond her 25 years. "He died swearing you betrayed him. Men spout nonsense on their last breath." Mia knelt close, her scent of lavender and trail dust intoxicating. "Where's the silver, Jack?" Her words were velvet over venom, the type that coaxed confessions from saints. "Hidden," he said. "Safe from everybody, me included, some days." Sophia leaned in, her blouse parting to show a tiny gold locket glinting in the fire. "Pa said you had a map to hidden Treasure Union gold stashed in the hills." Jack nearly grinned. Your pa spun tall tales. But her tilted head and piercing gaze stirred something in Hima's spark of recognition. The mark of a woman who'd inherited her father's charm and grit. No Union gold, but something your pa died shielding. The wind surged, bringing a wolf's distant cry. Mia's hand on his arm sent sparks flying, intimate and perilous. Before he could elaborate, Sophia's head whipped to the window, her hand snapping to her pistol. "Riders," she whispered, closing in. Hoofbeats thundered over frozen earth, spurs jingling like death knells. Voices barked men used to getting their way. Mia gripped him tighter. "Pinkertons?" "Worse," Sophia said, snuffing the lamp. "Outlaws." Darkness swallowed them as the door exploded inward. The first bullet splintered wood inches from Sophia's skull. She dove, yanking Mia behind the sturdy pine table Jack had crafted a decade ago thick enough to blunt lead. "Harlan," a gravelly voice bellowed from the night. "Hand over the Ramirez sisters, and we walk away clean." Jack clanked his chains. "Key in my shirt pocket," he hissed to Mia. She paused, eyes scanning his in the gunfire's flash, hunting deceit. "Trust me," Jack urged, meaning it deeper than expected. Her fingers delved in, warm against his chest, lingering like a promise. She unlocked him as Sophia fired back. "Chains off," Mia whispered. Sophia snarled. "Mia, nothing'll slaughter us. We fight as one or die apart." Freed, Jack snatched his Remington from under the bed, 6 rounds chambered. "How many?" "5, maybe," Sophia said coolly, every bit her pa's kin. "Pinned down." "No," Jack said, chambering around. "They think so." He pried a loose wall plank, revealing a tunnel dug in grief-fueled winters after Emily's death. "Leads to the root cellar, then the stable. If we hit it." Bullets riddled the front. The outlaws grew bold. They crawled through dank earth, Mia's body brushing his, soft and urgent. Sophia trailed, steady as stone. Emerging by the barn under swirling snow-fat flakes that could hide or betray, they spotted a shadow at the cabin. "Victor Slade," Sophia breathed, pointing. "He's hunted us for months." Jack knew the name. Ruthless gun for hire. The sort who'd get a kid for a dime. The kind of frontier was meant to tame. "He murdered Pa," Mia said, her tone arctic. "I saw it." Jack eyed her silhouette, delicate jaw. Fierce resolve. She was a storm in human form, captivating and lethal. "Then it's blood for blood." "Out here's all personal," Sophia said, counting bullets. The blizzard built, snow lashing like whips. Jack glimpsed the outlaws advancing. An explosion rocked the night dynamite through his window, turning his home into an inferno. Heat licked even through the gale. Mia gasped, her hand finding his, fingers weaving tight, small, strong, quaking with wrath or terror or both. "Sorry," she whispered. "Your place." "Just logs and nails," Jack said, throat tight. Not just that, Emily's echoes, her sickbed, her laughter in the kitchen. All ash. Sophia's touch on his shoulder was firm, oddly tender. "They'll regret it." Jack met her eyes in the blaze fierce beauty, promising hell or heaven by her whim. "We'll teach him the cost." Slade's shout pierced the storm. "Torch the barn." "They ain't far." Jack smirked coldly. "Wrong again, pal." He guided them into the wideout, toward high ground where a local could vanish armies, let alone 5 fools chasing quick cash. Behind, his past burned. Ahead, a path etched in lead and longing, where vengeance blurred with justice, and souls tangled as easily as lives ended. The upper pasture had been Jack's refuge since Emily. Now it had host carnage. Snow blanketed all, muffling steps, smearing horizons ideal for ambush. "They'll track us," Sophia said, breath pluming. "Bank on it," Jack replied, inspecting his rifle. "Mia, recall that old claim up the slope?" She nodded, eyes mirroring the pallid light. Bundled in her coat, her poise still quickened his pulse. "When hell breaks loose," he said, "you bolt." No glances back. "No," Mia said firmly. "We end this united." Sophia grinned faintly, the first time he'd seen her soften. Pa always called Mia the mule-headed one. Guess from whom? Jack held Sophia's gaze. They hunkered behind a toppled spruce, trunk broad to halt slugs. Him as center, sisters flanking like guardians. Shared peril bred closeness, breaths sinking, hearts racing with thrill and unspoken bonds. The outlaws ascended, cocksure as ever. Victor Slade led, duster billowing like doom. Four shadows followed cold killers with trigger-itchy fingers. "Harlan!" Slade yelled. "Last offer. The girls for your hide." Jack's answer. A rifle shot clips Slade's brim into the drifts. The clash spanned 18 brutal minutes flashes in the gloom, bullets screaming, crimson staining purity. When the dust settled, three lay still, one writhed, trailing blood. Slade stood, arm mangled by Sophia's dead-eye aim. "Done, Slade," Jack called. "Walk." Slade barked a laugh like shattering ice. "This ain't over, boy. Warrants on these spick bitches stretch to Oregon. Every badge, every trigger pull will dog him." "Maybe," Jack said, stepping out. "But not solo." Slade's face twisted insight or dread. "You die for two wetback tramps." The slur hung toxic. Sophia inhaled sharply, but Mia surged, her derringer flashing. The shot punched his chest, felling him like timber. "My name," she said softly, "is Mia Ramirez." "Etch it." Slade gurgled blood, then stilled. The pasture hushed, but for the wind in evergreens. Jack beheld Mia not the scared girl who'd bound him, but a force who'd slain for kin's dignity. Radiant, fearsome, indelible. "Ain't finished," Sophia said, reloading calmly. "More'll come." "Let him," Jack said, eyes on Mia, who returned the look with vows unspoken. A man's weary of solitude. They interred the fallen in shallow pits, thaw-bound for discovery not pious, but raw earth for rotten souls. Descending to his cabin's husk, Mia's hand slipped into his instinctive, vital. "The silver?" Sophia asked. "Plans." Jack pondered Emily. Vows kept and fractured, dreams deferred. Build good. A clinic in Billings doc for all. No questions on history or hue. Pod approve. Mia said that eve on their fresh porch, in a green dress he'd fetched from town, swaying with her breath, still unsteadying him. Sophia, oiling her gun in the lantern glow, added, "He'd want us content." "You?" Jack asked. Mia's reply, her fingers entwining his, easy as dawn. Sophia's, a nod sealing her blessing for the man her sister chose. They'd shed old names. Jack Harlan became Jacob Ramirez. If law probed, the governor's seal greased by silver silenced it. Nights, when wolves howled ancient tunes, Jack recalled Slade's taunts of endless pursuit. But Mia, stirring beside him, or Sophia's kitchen chuckle, reminded, renewal wasn't wiping slates but forging worth atop wreckage. The frontier tamed, grew civilized, but core, truths, love, fealty, rebirth's guts stayed feral. What do you think of this tale? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Did Jack make the right call aligning with the sisters? Or should he have fought alone? Share your stance, and let's debate.